Hey guys, EST here, and I love making videos about what I like to call blind spots in most preppers' equipment and, setups and plans and everything because you don't want to find yourself without. You don't want to be looking back and saying, oh, why didn't I pick that up? It's super cheap. And this is kind of one of those things. So, what everybody should have is a map of Wisconsin specifically. Just kidding. It's not just a map. You can pick up a paper map, but they're usually flimsy. They're super, they're not protected. This is a laminated cover right there. I'm not saying the interior pages are waterproof, but, you put this in a little poster tube, cut it off, wrap it in plastic. There you go. I mean, you can get waterproof map containers, military surplus, whatever. Even this book itself, I think I got under 20. Technically, I got it for free because I had a free Amazon credit from taking political surveys, whatever. If they want to pay me for it, $5 pop, I'll do it. And you might think, oh, I know my area. I could drive an hour and a half north and still know where I am because I travel a lot. If that's you, great. But this is more than that. This is stuff you don't know, and you don't know every single place in your own state. And now, if you live near the edge of a state, you might have to pick up multiple of these, or like a zone-based one. But these are by the state. I do like DeLorme because they're, I think, as far as I know, owned by Garmin. I assume that's what they mean there. And Garmin just has the most money and the most market, so they're gonna have the best data. That's pretty much how it works. So not sponsored or anything. They didn't send me this for free. It would be nice if they did, but whatever. My channel's not big enough yet. But the cool thing here is recreational sites, campgrounds, fishing. That's huge. So right off the bat, basically this is just what page numbers, what area. Real simple. So the big thing about paper maps is that these are really useful if like all electronics fail, and the only thing I'm thinking of is like really it would have to be some kind of EMP or solar flare or something, which is extremely unlikely. It's becoming more likely as we get better like energy densities and better electrical equipment and stuff, but basically like 30 years ago nothing but a nuclear missile could it would have to be airbursted, could do an EMP big enough to take out electronics over a widespread area. But I'm hearing rumors that, as of 2010 onwards, there might be like EMP weapons that are custom built that are just a truck full of capacitors, basically, and then an EMP generator. I mean, we've built those static into buildings. Why wouldn't you be able to put them portable if you had the lithium batteries to power them? So that's where, maybe even 10 years in the future, it might just be, oh, everybody's everywhere using EMP, and it would be just terrible. It'd be chaos. I mean, just think one terrorist. So it's not as out of the question as it would be. It is, you're not as delusional as people would call you like 20 years ago when it comes to just an EMP wiping out everything. Now, in my pack, I've got like 5 ways to build fire. If there's one single thing that could take out all 5 of those methods for making fire at once, I would be very concerned. So the fact that there just is a thing that we know that exists that could take out all electronics, that's bad. Now, as soon as you get off of that, it's like, okay, this would not be the first thing I buy, because I told people for $5-10 you could get an old Garmin at the, pawn shop. There's a whole pile of them around me. You can get them all the time at like, thrift shops for like nothing. And sometimes the batteries are shot. You could get new ones. You could rig it up with 18650s yourself, wire up, advanced battery packs that run bigger, just run it off of solar, whatever. And you've almost got like a computer device that runs forever. A lot of them actually are kind of portable, semi-waterproof with a rubber seal. With any electronics, don't drop them in the water, but I mean, you put them in a Ziploc bag and you're practically good. So I think 99% of the time in any kind of bad scenario where you need to know where you're going, you just pop on an offline GPS thing, you preload all the maps already obviously in it for your state, which is usually how they ship, or initially set up, and you're good. It costs like nothing. It costs 1/5 what this did, I think. So as long as you got electricity and you got solar, you're good. If your solar breaks and then you have no other generators, no turbines, and no cars to just go cigarette lighter, which, like, what scenario am I even describing where you can't find a car? So I don't know, but yeah, with EMPs, I'm like, oh, okay, fine, I'll pick up a paper map, So that's the justification behind this. The big things here are you got like, oh, outdoor adventures and all that. So I'm traveling, wonderful, unique natural features. Who cares? But then you get into like fishing. Boom, look at this. Where would you even find information this dense and this perfect, this verified, this up to date to the year online? I mean, like, you could almost pull this out and just get an answer faster than any website. Because as soon as Google finds out you're going on a vacation, they're just going to try and sell you stuff left and right, and so is every other site. It's the end of, the whole Wild West internet, everybody giving out information for free. Let's all, be hippies and get together and hold hands and help each other. Now it's just let's make a buck off of everyone. So, I mean, I would spend money just for the information. I would use this honestly all the time if I'm camping. Wouldn't even pull out my phone, wouldn't even bother. And also, your GPS is not going to have, oh, that river has specifically those species. You're not going to find that information. I mean, this is lakes, streams, rivers, everything. And then we've got, this is huge, hunting locations. Oh my gosh, we've got, okay, this one is marsh only. So if you don't have waterproof, waders, boots, whatever, okay, this one's marsh, timber, and brush. Then we've got, well, this one's a stream in timber, okay. And like, one of them on here was like 300 acres, and one of them's 33,000. There's a little difference there. So, I mean, that just alone, all in one page, one area where you can just look, and be like, we're near this, I've heard of this, okay, whatever, cool. And, this is what page, what grid it's on. So you can just scan for, I don't know, we're near the 70s. Okay, where is it? Okay, cool. What do we want to hunt? Okay, cool. There's pheasants, there's quails. Oh, I have a 22, so I'm not taking down deer. Okay, let's look for pheasants. Pheasants are delicious, by the way. This is just such critically important information. Then we've got recreation areas and campgrounds, which this might be, okay, campgrounds are too obvious, let's just go here. If you had to bug out, and then you're also like, I don't know, hiding from someone. Kind of hard to imagine that in America, but nothing's impossible. I mean, who knows? But, like, if you had to hide somewhere like North Korea or China because the government's after you, okay, now you'd want one of these. So it's not impossible on our planet and in human society. It's just, I live in America and I'm like, okay, I don't think the government's completely collapsing at any point or we're getting invaded, but other countries, oh boy. I wouldn't want to live in Taiwan right now. Oh, remember the coup in Myanmar? First thing they did was switch the internet off. Well, there you go. Hope you had a handheld GPS or a map. And food got real short real quick because the military seized it all. So it's like, yeah, you might want to know where there's a campground, some hunting areas, and some place to kind of lay low and keep out of everyone's way, keep a low profile. So, I mean, we got family outings as like a list of museums. Okay, wonderful. I mean, probably not real useful to you. But then we get into like the actual maps. We got topographical, we got what do they call it, political or whatever, where it's like boundaries. We got all the different I think train tracks are on here. Then you got the scale, which if you think, oh, then I need to pack a ruler. You could rip off the edge of this page and use a marker. I mean, you could use a burnt piece of charcoal. Like, come on, just light a stick on fire and start drawing. Unless you're gonna burn the ruler, don't bring a ruler. Every pound counts, and this is heavy enough already. I've seen people be so stupid with stuff like that, they just don't stop and think for a second. So, I mean, this is like, oh, there's the coastline, pretty easy to figure out where you are then. I mean, even every little city is going to have a sign so you know exactly where you are. You just follow it or say, oh, let's cut over to Kettle Moraine State Park because, I don't know, maybe the state forest has some kind of protected this and that, deer population, no hunting, whatever, let's go. I need some deer. Obviously only an emergency. And this, of course, shows off all the different, like, actual geography. It's, what do they call it, topographical or something? I think I just said the dang word, but, uphill, downhill, tributaries going into the Mississippi, what goes where. Like, would you want to cross this way? Probably not. There's a whole bunch of mountain lines and elevations and stuff. I kind of would prefer if this had, like, what is it, like, GIS data or something like that, I think it's called? Where it's like just the elevation and it's in the rings. I'm totally drawing a blank on what those are called, but the map where it just shows elevation. That would be nice because then you'd know, oh, this is downhill, this is uphill. We just can't go uphill. We got bicycles. We're not going to go uphill for 10 miles. Can't even do it. So you can see this isn't like the absolute end-all solution to all maps. There are better maps out there. And the other thing is like this is, paper isn't the sturdiest thing ever. What you could do is just go straight to the center, rip out the binding staples, get every single page laminated, and then try to staple it back together. There you go. I mean, then it's effectively pretty waterproof. You get a bit of a glare, but there you go. And then you don't have to worry about any kind of copyright issues. You tell them to make a copy of this page but print it on like waterproof paper, which does exist. They're not going to do it. But I mean, you can assemble your own whole database, get maps online practically for free. There's a lot of public, like government maps, government satellite images that you can just say, okay, I've got the collection together, I've got databases, I've got lists, I've got Excel spreadsheets, I did it all. Took me 12 hours, but there we go. Let's run to, FedEx, which used to be Kinko's, or Kinko's, which used to be, I don't know, whatever. and have them printed on, basically it's like Tyvek house wrap, but it's like waterproof blueprint paper. Not, you might have to go to a custom print shop and do that, but that would be like the ideal solution. But this is just like I went to Amazon and hit buy. So little bit of a difference in effort there, little bit of a difference in the results. I didn't get exactly what I wanted, exactly the zones. Like maybe you live in the edge of one state and you're gonna need four, you know, because that's all the surrounding areas. Well, now you got 4 books, and this, you know, probably weighs a good couple ounces at least, and this could take up a lot of room. Doesn't quite fit in the glove compartment either, so you could get a smaller one. Just kind of think like, you know, feel it out. Don't just be like, okay, I'm getting this one because the EST told me to, and then you're like, oh, I don't have a place to put this, and then you'll leave it somewhere dumb and then leave it behind, and now you don't know where you're going. Gotta be practical. So yeah, I mean, I would just go and get an atlas for your local area, and just you have it, and you're 100% good with like the best set of information with no network or internet required, because a GPS can tell you like where you're going and maybe give you directions without a network connection, like an old school module could. You can get offline map programs for your phone as well for, you know, a pretty penny. You can even get probably Atlas apps for your phone for a pretty penny. I've never seen one where you buy the book and then they give you both. They give you a license for a digital one, but you're gonna be pretty sad if your phone's out of batteries, there's no charger, and you're in a hurry and you gotta know where you're going. You just pull this out, it always works. Unless it's physically destroyed, you're good to go. So I'm a big fan of these, so I say everybody should pick these up. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys next video.